If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel. When you do, make sure you hit the notification bell. That means that you will be informed of when a new video has been released. If you would like to take that support one step further, you can do that via Patreon, which is an optional monthly service. You can donate money towards the channel, or you can go over to Ko-fi.com, and for the price of a coffee you can help donate towards the channel as well. Links for all of those will be in the description of the video, and without further ado, enjoy the video.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching another interview from the SIL. And tonight I am delighted to be able to say that I am joined by one half of the management duo of Division 1 side, Wickham Market, Dan Hiscock. Dan, how you doing, mate? You well?
Hello, mate. Yeah, really good. How are you?
Yeah, can't complain. Not too bad. We're gradually edging ever so closer towards football coming back.
Can't wait.
I'm getting so excited. I mean, how have you been with lockdown and life without football? Because your appointment, you must have been like itching to kind of get in, and you've been sitting impatient for so long now.
It's it's a difficult one. I mean, I've obviously been kept really busy with work and stuff like that. So working from home, and I mean, I say the world kind of changed overnight, didn't it? So it's
yes, Christ, yeah,
really, really odd. Like back end of last season, cut short completely. But yeah, it's just been a bit of an odd one for me, because it's like normally I'd be able to go up back end of the season, watch a couple of games and things like that, knowing that the appointment's kind of imminent, and haven't been able to do any of it. So yeah, itching is the right word, I think.
Yeah, because you were appointed, well, from Twitter anyway, what I can see on there, you were appointed on the 15th of April.
Yep.
So how have you kind of found things, especially with everything that is going on at the moment? Has it been kind of nice to be able to just sit back and reflect on things, or are you kind of one of those people that's itching to go? Because I'm getting a bit of a mixed reaction depending on who I'm speaking to about how they're feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hands on, so I'm itching. I want to get going. I mean, the boys would tell you, like Tom, we've got our group chat and everything, and yeah, we're hitting sort of trying to get sponsorships and all things like that. So there's plenty to keep us ticking over, but the football's the thing that we want to get back and doing, isn't it? That's the thing. And it's just frustrating that we're not been able to do it thus far. But I think it maybe a slightly different as well, because I kind of had a bit of a time out from the game after Felixstowe Rangers sort of went belly up.
Right.
And it's just itching to get back. I think, as you say, it's probably the right word.
Because we were talking kind of briefly before we started this. You had a little bit of time out, didn't you?
Yes.
From the game. So, why did you make that decision to have a little bit of time away? Was it because of what had happened at Felixstowe? Just kind of talk to me about, that period of time before we kind of go into the appointment.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's Felixstowe Rangers was, I mean, anyone that knows me and has had association with me, and probably the club, know how much I put into that club over the course of the 7 years, whether it was right the way from the early days and Sundays, right the way through to starting in the SIL and trying to push the club forward, that aspect. I mean, we had side projects going on, trying to develop the changing rooms at Walton Rec, and it was huge. Like the actual momentum we built in the space of sort of the first 4 or 5 years. And then for one reason or another, it kind of sort of started dwindling out. And I think purely just put so much effort into those 7 years with the club that I needed a bit of time out. I kind of felt myself losing a bit of love for the game. It's just one of those things, I suppose. I mean, it literally felt like I'd lost the love for the game and needed that time to just get my head together and see what I wanted to do next.
So how did this move then come about, having some time away? Because it's great that people decide to take that time out, but you can become very easily forgotten about when you are not consistently there match after match. People aren't talking about you and you're not involved in that kind of stuff. So how did this come about with Wickham Market? Because obviously Tom's been there for a few years himself. Talk to me about that process.
It was probably the relationship that I'd built with Tom's brother Sam, actually. So I known Sam for a few years. Tried to get him over at Rangers a few times, but he was having none of it. And so I'd been to Trimley at the back end of what was last season, just for a couple of games. So I've made the decision that I wanted to get back into football. Craig over at Trimley kindly said, so come over and help us out. But unfortunately turned out to be about 2 training sessions and 2 games, which, and then we were hit with this blooming virus. So,
right.
But that kind of sparked my interest again, gave me my confidence back, I suppose. And Sam had been in my ear a little bit, said, did I fancy coming over and seeing what they've got going on, told me about the project. And it kind of went from there, really. And
because they had. Sorry, go on.
No, just saying the project sold it to me. They've been up to the senior division before. They know what it's all about as a club, and that's where they want to get. That's what we want to be back to. We want to be back in the senior division, and I think we've got the makings of it there for a real push this year. Definitely.
Now, I mean, let's kind of talk about the job that that Tom is doing. Prior to you coming in, because I mean, if I go back on the past few years of Wickham's history in Division 1, we had the 16-17 campaign they finished 9th, then the 17-18 campaign they finished 10th. The one before this season, they then finished in 6th place, and then this season they finished in 3rd place. So you can see already a big difference, 6th and 3rd place from since he's been in charge.
Yeah, the turnaround's brilliant that he's done there, I think, and deserves a lot of credit for the players he's brought in and the foundations that he's built. Because I think anyone can really see that there was a bit of a free fall almost from the senior division coming down, and there was that time where it just needed maybe the reins grabbing on it and bringing someone in like Tom, and he's done a fantastic job, and it's his ambition and that really attracted me to it, because he wants to take it, he wants to complete the job, he wants to complete and take it back to the senior division. Yeah,
because I think a lot of clubs are finding this when you are in the senior division, it can almost become a bit of a comfort when you are in that kind of lower half of the table, and then all of a sudden when you do get relegated, Division 1 is so bloody tough. It is unbelievably tough. I've said it on my video that I've done for the upcoming season. It is, in my opinion, the most competitive division.
There's teams coming up now. I think the likes of Tattenstone and that. I've played against Tattenstone a few times, and they're not going to want to come into the league and just make up the numbers. You see them on social media, and teams like that are going to be competitive. They really are, and it's exciting. I think it's really exciting for the league. And from being a Felixstowe lad, I mean, you only had to see how hard Trimley had to work to get out of Division 1 when they were in it, and I say what a season they had. But that's what we want to emulate, really.
Definitely. You mentioned about a project that sold you to the club. Without giving too much away and too much detail on what was kind of discussed in there.
Yeah.
What was it mainly that attracted you to the club? Because obviously it is a club on the rise, so it would be an opportunity for anybody. But what was it in particular that kind of grabbed your attention?
I think it was the real desire to push on, certainly this season. And you can see from behind the scenes that the club's set up to be a senior division football team. You've got the youth system there as well that we want to try and incorporate a little bit more. So it's just that big picture that I really like. I've been at a few clubs now, and I've seen what I like, what I don't like, and things like that. And I've always kind of wanted that big community club almost. And the clubs that are big at the heart of Wickham, whether it's right the way through the youth system, right up to the senior side. So I think it's that real project of pulling everything together and so working with Tom to A, get us up the league and get us where we want to be, and then B, bringing everything together.
Yeah. So what do you think you're going to be able to bring to the joint management role? Because it's interesting. Joint managers are suddenly becoming more and more popular. I'm seeing this rather than a traditional 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Joint managers are very, very popular. So what are you going to bring to the role? What characteristics can you bring to the club?
I think just an answer to that as to why maybe there's so many more joint managers, because it's so blooming hard.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into management behind the scenes and that people don't realise. And I think that's why people just need 2 pairs of hands on it. And whether it's, let's say, chasing players during the week, sorting training out, sorting the paperwork out, chasing money, everything. It's just such a tough job. And so we've all got jobs that we have to do alongside it. So it's and I think that's probably why there's so many now that go towards the joint management.
Yeah.
But in terms of what I'll add, I think certainly passion and commitment will be what I'll bring to it. As I say, I've got a unique style of playing. I've got a style of play that I like to try and install on the teams that I manage. So yeah, hopefully we can see some structure, see some a style of play brought to the club, and that passion from the touchline, because I don't normally shut up.
To be honest, as a player, you need that though. There's nothing worse than when your manager's quiet, and I've experienced it myself. You sometimes you just need that little bit of guidance and a little bit of pick me up. So that that shouldn't be a problem for most players. Let's talk about next season before we go into the ambitions of what we're trying to achieve next season. How difficult has it been kind of getting ahead and organised for this season, when up until maybe a week or so ago, we haven't really known when we're going to be starting or if we're going to be starting?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to try and judge how to plan the situation. But to be honest, we took the decision right from the start that we were just going to plan as if we were starting normally.
Right.
So we put a pre-season plan together. We got the friendlies sorted nice and early, and all we'll do is, until we're allowed to play, we'll just have to cancel the friendlies as they come up. But that's all we can really do. We didn't want to be underprepared, because all of a sudden, if it turned around that this thing went away overnight or something stupid, then we didn't want to be caught with our pants down, sort of thing. So at least we're there. We know that we've got this, the pre-season schedule in place, ready to rock and roll as and when we can get going.
Have you thought about pre-season, like in terms of getting back into training at all? Because I've seen a lot of clubs are slowly starting to appear, and stuff's popping up on social media and stuff like that. Have you guys thought about it yet?
We're doing a session on Thursdays, so we're going to get something as of tomorrow. So we've got our first session tomorrow.
Okay.
And we've got to do it as a social distance, kind of obeying to the government guidelines. So different stations set out and keeping to your groups of 6. So it's just rotating around, but it's just getting the lads back together, to be honest, and an opportunity for me and Tom to try and get our expectations over for the season and things like that, and for me to actually meet the players, which would be a start.
Definitely. Let's talk about it then. The expectations for next year. This video will be going out after you've had that meeting, so the players will be hearing this before the general public will. I've said it in my video for the upcoming season. I'm expecting big things from the club based on how you finished off last season and the signings you've made during the summer. You've got Tom Ross, who's coming in, an experienced goalkeeper. You've got Jack Sayers, the striker, who's banging in goals for Felixstowe Rangers. You've got Josh Allen, who's got experience in the Furlough None and the SIL. I'm expecting you to make a couple of more signings. Watch this space. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Missed Darren as well. Darren Van Oom we've signed from Achilles.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's been a busy summer. We've been trying to just piece together the things that we've been working on sort of behind the scenes and whatnot. But it's exciting. It's exciting to bring in those sort of players into the club.
Have you? It looks like you're kind of going down a bit of experience in those signings. Kind of boys that have been there, done it, kind of got the t-shirt, so to speak. Would that be a fair assessment to say?
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would be a fair assessment. As we said earlier on, Division One's going to be an extremely tough and competitive league this year, and so we've recruited accordingly. Tom had built a fantastic base for us to work from over the last couple of years as well. I mean,
Yeah, it really has.
Even just keeping the squad that we had from last year is a massive achievement in itself.
100%.
So to keep that squad and the core players together and add the sort of players that we've brought in is it's exciting, and it's going to get people's ears pricking up at the end of the day.
Definitely. How do you think next season's going to go? I mean, I know obviously the ultimate aim is promotion. It has to be based on how well you're doing, but is that the kind of expectations you're setting upon yourself?
Yeah, we've kind of said we don't want to limit our expectations. We know that we've got the talent in the squad. We know that if we can get the commitment right and the work ethic right, then the season's our oyster, really. I mean, we can go and do whatever we want to do, but it's just, we know it's going to be tough. We know that there's some competitive teams in the league. As you said, it's going to be one of the most competitive leagues in the SIL, and everyone's going to be wanting to push up to that senior division. You're not going to be in Division 1 and not be looking at it at the end of the day. So as I say, the teams coming up are going to be thinking, right, we've had a really good end to last season. Can we use that bounce? Can we use the momentum from last year to push through? And we're not counting our chickens. We're not sat here saying that we're going to walk it, because we're really, really not. It's football. We all know what football's like. Yeah. But we know we've got to be prepared, and we know that that if we get everything right on and off the pitch, then of course we can be pushing, and our expectations are that we want to be back in the senior division sooner rather than later. Definitely.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck for the upcoming season. I will 100% be coming back to the club next year. My actual, we were talking very briefly. My first, Tom's first game rather, was me turning up with my camera, which was which must have been an odd experience for him. And funnily enough, as you said this, I've got to share this fact with you guys. That was only one of 6 defeats that he has had as a manager since he's been at that club. I found that stat absolutely. That's remarkable.
That's a testament to what he's done as well, I think, in the 2 years. It's really, really good.
Yeah. And so, but hopefully, and I'm not saying this in a way that, for whatever team you play against when I do turn up, I hope that when I do turn up, you have better luck than that result. Because I think you got, obviously you weren't there at the time, but they lost 1-0 to Barham that day. So hopefully, if I turn up, there'll be a bit of better fortune for you. But I'm expecting big things. I hope things go well for you next season, and I hope that for your sake, it's we can start quickly as possible and you can get into the swing of things.
That's what we want. I just hope that we can get a full season in as well, because I know that there's this talk of half a season if we don't start at a certain time, and the cups being cut, and everyone wants to crack at everything, don't they? We want a full season, and let's just hope we can get it.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for your time tonight, Dan. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. And look forward to buying you a beer at Wickham next year.
Can't say no to that. If you guys have enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you want to take that support for the channel one step further, you can donate via Patreon or via Ko-fi. Both links for those will be down in the description below. But until next time, as always, adios.